everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're at Disneyland to give you an August construction update. There are a lot of rides closed and new changes here at the park, so let's get going. And we are going to start our construction update right here at the end of Main Street with the Disneyland Railroad. Now, this is probably one of our biggest and most involved construction updates that I have ever done. There is a lot closed this month, so please bear with me. Starting on August 5th is when most of this stuff happens, including the railroad. Monday, August 5th, the railroad will close. The opening date is still to be announced. The refurb calendar goes out to September 10th as of right now, and it is still listed to be closed. I'm wondering if it's going to be closed through the opening of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, if whatever they're doing in Critter Country is going to impact the railroad, so that's why they're closing it. If that is the case, the absolute earliest conjecture that we can assume for Tiana's is September 30th, given the Walt Disney World timeline. Now, they still have not announced anything, and that's okay. They didn't announce Walt Disney World's opening until about a month before it actually happened either. So we still have a little ways yet before they say anything about Tiana's. If indeed September 30th is still the timeline, it was never announced again formally. We're just making conjecture based on the timeline for Walt Disney World, and when key moments happened here for our Tiana's, September 30th is the earliest possible date. It could be later than that. But anyway, we might see the railroad closed during that whole time frame. And if that is indeed the case, we're looking at about a 2-month closure for the Disneyland Railroad. And we still have no news on Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. This attraction closed in April, and here it is, the tail end of July, about to enter into August, and it is still closed with no opening date in sight. I'm actually starting to wonder if this is going to be held off until the 70th anniversary. If that is the case, and I have no basis for this, just seeing some other people rumbling with that rumor, that possibility, that theory, if you will. It's just a theory. Again, it's based in no fact at all, but if you recall, before we announced that they had a $5 million permit filed for this, and the theories, the rumors that are rumbling around on the internet are that that $5 million is for a Walt animatronic to introduce the show. What better time to debut a Walt animatronic than the 70th anniversary of the park? The last time we had a big anniversary was the 60th anniversary, and that celebration kicked off in May of 2015 and lasted through September of 2016. So Disneyland's birthday is in July, so that means 2 months ahead of time is when they kicked off the celebration. If the 70th follows the same pattern, we won't be seeing the 70th celebration until May of 2025. Does that mean Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln won't be back until then? It's anybody's guess, but who knows? It sounds like it would line up perfectly for what Disney likes to do. And we did all of that before the park even opened. So right now we're actually gonna head over into Tomorrowland. We're just gonna knock Space Mountain out right now because I know a lot of you have questions about Space Mountain. So we're gonna ride that attraction for our rope drop ride this morning and share with you what we know about the planned refurbishment. And here we go, the rush to get to Space Mountain. It's a fun frenzy. Now, I found 2 different sources about what they're doing here in Space Mountain, and both sources conflicted a little bit, but both of them agreed that it had to do with the lighting in the attraction. Now, one of them said that it was lighting in the ride itself and the flooring in the ride itself. I know that during the launch tunnel, the lights have not worked for quite some time, so I'm glad that they're going to be fixing that. However, the other source said that they showed a permit that they would be re-theming the loading area, and this is the loading area. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a full re-theme. I think it said it was a re-theme with the lighting, so it's still a lighting primarily issue, and they did theorize that it could be that launch tunnel, and they're just considering that part of the loading area here. I'm not 100% positive exactly on what's going on, but we do know that they will be updating the lighting. They'll be adding in some LED lights, possibly making the lighting better than it was before, but also fixing what is broken in the launch tunnel currently. So as you start going up the lift hill, you are going to see some red lights, but once you get past those red lights, it just goes completely pitch black, and it's during this black scene that I recall there being blue lights before, a blue light sequence, and it's just not there. It's just pitch black. So this has been broken for quite some time, maybe maybe 2 to 3 months or so, and I'm hoping that they get that fixed. I think that's probably what they're going to be doing during this refurbishment. Why now? Why August 5th? Monday, August 5th is when Space Mountain goes down. Well, according to Disney, summer ends on August 4th. That's when they're ending Pixar Fest, and they just start to get ready for the fall. So it's a regular refurb time, if you will. I wish they'd have waited until like November before Christmas instead, but those lights have been out for a little while. The initial rumor was that it would be closed for a month, and it just popped up on the refurb calendar a couple of days ago. The reopening date is September 6th. That's Friday, September 6th. So it is just longer than a month. We do have that confirmed now for certain. Space Mountain will be closed from August 5th to September 6th. We have one more item to cover in Tomorrowland, but we need to beeline it towards Haunted Mansion, and I'll explain why in just a minute. So we'll get that back in just a moment, but we are coming into Adventureland first to make it a small detour for our next update. And that's going to be a surprise closure that just popped up on the refurb calendar, Indiana Jones Adventure. Indiana Jones Adventure is set to close on Monday, September 9th. This just appeared on the refurb calendar yesterday. The information that we have is sparse. Nobody on the internet is talking about it yet, except for a few Reddit threads where it popped up like, oh no, why is this on the calendar? But otherwise, we don't have much information just yet. We do know that it is going to be after Space Mountain reopens, however. Space Mountain reopens on Friday, September 6th. Indiana Jones will close on Monday, September 9th. So they're not going to overlap, at least. They had enough sense not to close two major rides when a lot of things in the park are closed already. But it is a shocker nonetheless to see this happen. I feel like they usually reserve these big closures for like November, right before the Christmas season. Instead, we're getting them. Well, this one is actually after the Halloween season begins. So they're probably wanting to get this refurbed, updated, touched up before the busy October season. Unfortunately, for those coming in September, it'll be closed. How long? I don't know. This is a ride that could be closed for just a week or two. It's kind of like Incredicoaster, where they close it for a week or two, just do some minor touch-ups, and then it reopens again. That could be the same here with Indiana Jones Adventure. Let's hope that's the case, because, again, we can't see the back half of the calendar right now. As we pass Pirates of the Caribbean here on our left, we need to mention this attraction because Pirates of the Caribbean is currently closed. It is Tuesday, July 30th at the moment, and you can see work going on here, touching up some things. They've got paint going on all around. We have some painter's tape down in the corners, so they are doing some touch-ups to the attraction queue here. And it will be closed for just a few days. So this attraction closed on Monday, July 29th, and will reopen on Friday, August 2nd. So just 4 days that it'll be closed here. All we see happening are some outer touch-ups. I saw some chatter online that were thinking that maybe they were pulling the lightning lanes out. Here are the lightning lane poles. I don't think they're going to be pulling the lightning lane out just yet. Pirates of the Caribbean is just a temporary lightning lane while Haunted Mansion was closed. And I feel like the reason that rumor or that chatter started was because Haunted Mansion opened up yesterday, and that's the same date that Pirates of the Caribbean here closed. So I guess you could see where they would come to think that, but Haunted Mansion is just on virtual queue. Lightning Lane is not available, and until the Lightning Lane becomes available again on Haunted Mansion, I don't see them taking Lightning Lane away from Pirates of the Caribbean, because this was meant to be a replacement for Haunted Mansion as far as Lightning Lane goes. So I believe that we'll see Pirates return to standby only once Haunted Mansion's Lightning Lane returns. Speaking of the Haunted Mansion, it did open yesterday, Monday, July 29th, and it is on virtual queue only. It looks like they are just about to open the attraction for virtual queue. They said it wasn't quite open yet. It's about 8:40 in the morning. And my boarding group has already been called, probably as is everyone else's here. But you get boarding groups on the Disneyland app in the virtual queue section on the homepage. We do have a Haunted Mansion being open here on Tuesday, July 30th. Now, inevitably, somebody is going to ask, why Haunted Mansion Holiday? It is not even in September, not even August 23rd. You know, why are we doing it in July? Isn't it a little early for Halloween and Christmas? And it just has to do with the fact that they actually never changed the inside of the attraction. When they took down the decorations on the outside to do construction, they left the inside fully set up because what's the point? You know, they're just fixing the outdoor queue area. And so they left it up as Haunted Mansion Holiday. It takes about 2 weeks to make the switch. So there's no reason for them to make the switch for like 2 weeks later to close it and make the switch again. It just wouldn't make sense. So the option was we could leave Haunted Mansion closed until August 23rd, or we could open it early because we're ready and just let people have an extra month of Haunted Mansion Holiday. That's the option they went with. It's the smarter option in my opinion as well. I'd rather have the ride in any form than no ride at all. And here we go, we're gonna see how the virtual queue works. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's just the same standard experience that you're always going to get. They're just obviously not using the full queue space because over there it is under renovation at the moment. So they just have this modified queue space, which is rather short, basically from where I'm standing to the front of the attraction. And obviously that doesn't hold a whole lot of people, which is why they have the need for the virtual queue.
Don't pull down the bar. It will float down, please, and keep a close watch on all children. Rapid than vultures, the function was changed. All was soon covered, the Northland deranged. And what do your wondering eyes disappears? Like demons jumping out confused. All at once. My courier and I. I'm full of toys. Jack is slung on his back. Strange, bizarre, and on the attack. Are you ready to resume your visit? We will continue our holiday tour in no time at all.
Wait, the snake is over here. What's he doing over here? He doesn't belong over here. And these presents look a little different too. I was thinking this looked a little odd. RM Railroad. This is laid out differently. Oh, whoa, check this out. Never seen that before. Oh, they're turning us this way. The vehicle even turns towards it.
Look at all the happy faces. Season's greetings, everyone.
So when we exit the attraction, we do have a wall here on our left, immediately on our left, because this is where the construction for the Critter Country area starts, but also that Memento Mori store. And from here, it looks like we still can see no progress on that store. I'm looking over the wall and don't see any roofs or wood or anything. So let's come over here for a minute and talk. Wow, they actually changed quite a bit on the inside. From year to year, they usually only change the gingerbread house in the main ballroom scene. Of course, I was expecting that, and that was, did not disappoint. I thought it looked really, really awesome. But I also noticed a couple of new additional elements at the opening area where they have that hallway with Zero. They had a couple of lanterns there that I don't recall seeing before, and I thought my brain might have just been playing tricks on me. Maybe it was there the whole time, and that it was just going to be the gingerbread that was different. But then we got into the attic scene, and the attic scene was like completely different. I mean, not completely, they just moved some things around and added a new main central showpiece. I thought that was really awesome. I really liked the change, that just spice it up from the, the usual stuff that we got used to. So glad to have Haunted Mansion back. I actually really like the holiday version. I understand some people's worry that it's a little too early in the season, but again, as I said earlier, I would rather have it than not. How does the virtual queue work? Inevitably, somebody is going to ask me, and I thought about putting a separate video together on how to do that and everything, but then I saw a lot of other vloggers were already starting to put those out, and I don't really like to compete with them and that sort of thing. I like to do my own thing. So I will just mention briefly here again that if you want to join the virtual queue, you can join it by going to the Disneyland app and clicking on the home screen and then choosing the virtual queues option. And make sure you log in about 10 minutes to 7 o'clock at the least to confirm your party, get ready to queue that up, and then right when it hits 7 o'clock, refresh the screen and hit join queue. I just went into the virtual queue area on the app to see when the second drop of the boarding groups are, because there's usually one drop at 7 a.m. and another drop later on in the day, like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. or something like that. It's currently available right now. It's 9 a.m. and I could hit the join queue button right now. They're not out of reservations. So I wonder if it's because it's not, one of those like super high intense rides that you have to pay for a lightning lane, like Rise of the Resistance. When that used to be on boarding group, they would run out almost instantly. Like if you did not push the button in the first 2 seconds, you didn't get a boarding group. That's how bad it was. And I think a lot of people were worried that would be the case here as well. But I just looked, and I already joined the virtual queue. I already rode the ride, so it won't let me join again. It says there are no eligible party members, but the button is blue. The button is pushable. That's the point. At 9 a.m., they are not out of boarding groups at the moment. So hopefully that'll give you some hope. And I don't know if it'll stay like that all the time. We are relatively early in the season. It may get more popular as we get closer to Halloween, but maybe some people just don't want to ride the Halloween version. I don't know. And for our next update, we actually need to ride the Mark Twain, which is sailing away, so we have a little bit of time. So let's talk a bit more about Haunted Mansion. What's going on? Why are they doing what they're doing? And that sort of thing. Well, again, they're updating the outdoor queue, and that's because they're making it more ADA compliant. Before, anybody with a wheelchair had to go through the main elevator, and then they would get off and get back into their wheelchair, and then they'd have to go back up the elevator. So of course you can imagine that would delay regular guests a little bit, but it also isn't the most streamlined way to operate that. And so what they're doing is they're adding in a special ADA elevator that will be specifically for wheelchair guests and things like that, so that it's easier and lets the attraction perform a little bit better. Anyway, that remodel, along with the remodel of the area outside of Tiana's Palace, is continuing on. They are continuing on with the Memento Mori store, but progress on that is going to take a little bit more time, and since they were able to at least complete the portion of the queue that is immediately outside the ride, they're able to reopen it on this provisionary sort of virtual queue basis. And again, it's better to have the ride open in any capacity than it is to just leave it closed for the next couple of months that it will take for them to continue to work on the rest of that. When will it come off virtual queue? I mean, it's anybody's best guess at this point. I wouldn't, be holding your breath at all or anything like that. It'll come off when it comes off, when it's good and ready for them to open the main queue. And I'm just happy that it's open. All right, so we're on the Mark Twain now, and our next update is going to be just a little bit down the rivers of America.
Mark Twain. Mark Twain is not just the name of a riverboat or a great American author. It also means the water here is 2 fathoms deep.
And of course, what we want to talk about here on the Rivers of America is the Hungry Bear restaurant. News came out just a little bit ago that Hungry Bear will be undergoing a re-theme. Hungry Bear restaurant will now be Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. They are bringing back the country bears across the Disneyland Resort. Big Al appeared at the DVC Center over in Disney California Adventure outside Grizzly River Run. And now we have the re-theme of Hungry Bear Restaurant to a Country Bear theme. They are going to have a barbecue, obviously, as given the name, that is supposed to be cuisines that they've picked up while they've been on tour. And guests will be able to eat barbecue while jamming to Country Bear songs. So this is a welcome change, in my opinion. I feel like Disneyland had plenty of burger joints, and Hungry Bear is honestly one of the least exciting of them, my least favorite probably of the bunch. So to see Hungry Bear getting a re-theme, and to barbecue no less, I'm hoping, just crossing my fingers, that maybe it'll be as good as Regal Eagle and Epcot. I don't know if I should expect that level of quality or not, but I am hopeful. I love the barbecue at Regal Eagle, and we are getting a barbecue restaurant back here at Disneyland in Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. Of course, when will that be opening? Well, who knows? That's always the answer, is it not? But we're expecting it to reopen with Critter Country, which should reopen with Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We've already shared some of those dates and theories and things. Nothing hard and fast and concrete. We'll obviously keep you updated here on the channel once Disney says something official, but we are looking forward to all the changes. Surprisingly, Dumbo, the flying elephant, finds itself on the refurb calendar for the month of August. It will be closed on Tuesday, August 6th, reopening on Wednesday, August 7th. So it's just a single day, but it's kind of, adds and compounds to all the closures that are already scheduled for August, and now breaking into September, we have Dumbo, the flying elephant, closed for a single day on Tuesday, August 6th. Last month we reported on how the Fantasyland theater area popcorn cart was closed, and this whole area had a construction wall around it, and that's because they were updating some of the brickwork on the ground. You can't really tell, but I mean, that's by design. Disney makes things to look aged so that things don't look, like shiny new. But the construction wall has now shifted down here as they do some updates to this area. Fantasyland Theater and Troubadour Tavern still open, as is the restrooms and the Pixar Pals Playtime Party. The last day for the Pixar Pals play area here, and all of Pixar Fest for that matter, is going to be Sunday, August 4th. That's the final day, beginning on Monday, August 5th, pretty much when all these other closures start to happen. That's the end of the festival. There will be no festival on that Monday, so just keep that in mind. It does not continue through the end of August if you were thinking it ran all summer long. Again, Disney kind of considers the summer to mostly be over by August 4th, and they start prepping for the fall season. And this year, fall kicks off even earlier on August 23rd. So they make that 2-week transition. There's usually a week or two between major seasons. They do the same thing between Halloween and Christmas. Halloween ends obviously October 31st, and I feel like Christmas isn't starting till sometime around November 15th. So there's that 2-week break. They're doing the same thing here between the summer and fall seasons. So Pixar Fest ends on August 4th. And we are back in Tomorrowland for the final ride closure in Disneyland. We have a few other things to talk about, but this is the last ride. And that ride is going to be the Disneyland Monorail, which is actually set to close on Monday, August 12th. And it has no reopening date as of right now. It's got 4 weeks on the calendar where it is showing as closed. This is unrelated to the Disneyland Railroad as far as I'm aware. They're not even closing on the same day. However, this is going to be quite a lengthy refurb. Of course, it might not be a refurb at all and simply a closure. Some chatter online suggests that it might be closing just because it is reaching those temperatures of the year where it's just a little too hot. Remember, the monorail does not have air conditioning. In fact, even on a day like today, it'll run in the morning like it is right now, but it will close in the afternoon temporarily, and then it will open back up a little bit later once the temperatures start to cool down again. And again, that's because there's no air conditioning on the train itself. Therefore, they have to close it whenever it's super hot. I don't remember this happening last year, but I also wasn't doing construction updates at this time last year, and so I just maybe have never observed it before. We'll have to see, but if that's the case, then it probably won't reopen back up until after the temperatures start to dip, which is getting into October a little bit. September being the hottest month of the year here in Southern California. And we're going to take a seat in my customary little chatting spot for the rest of the portion that we need to talk about with Disneyland. First up, Genie Plus. Genie Plus is no more. Now we have a Lightning Lane multi-pass. That change took place on Wednesday, July 24th. We were here on Thursday, July 25th, trialing it out. We have a video out on the channel if you would like to watch that. It's an hour long. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize if you don't like long videos, but we needed to test it out the whole day and see if there was anything different. The only thing slated to change here at Disneyland was the name, where lots of changes happened over at Walt Disney World, kind of to return it to the old Fast Pass Plus, but with some minor modifications and things like that. However, here at Disneyland, they said that all that was changing was the name. I'm not convinced that that is the case. In my experience trialing it out the other day, I think they might have another sort of underwritten backdoor sort of change that might have happened, and the theory is that they are now releasing more lightning lanes throughout the day, that they're holding some of them back. And what that means is that the lightning lanes that are available in the morning aren't as many as there used to be, so they're disappearing a lot quicker. But throughout the day, those lightning lanes become available again. And I am seeing just a casual quick glance at the tip board today. Sort of shows me that same picture that we saw last Thursday. However, it's a little bit better. It's not as busy as it was that last Thursday, so things were disappearing quite a bit faster. But even so, Indiana Jones is already out to 4:30. It is about 9:50 in the morning at the moment. Indiana Jones is out to 4:30 in the afternoon. Guardians of the Galaxy is out to 6:30. On Thursday, Guardians of the Galaxy was gone by noon when we hopped over. So within 2 more hours time, I can definitely see Guardians of the Galaxy being gone, which means that, you know, availability is disappearing fast. And under the old Genie Plus system, this just never happened. Usually it would take until 4 or 5 in the evening before rides started disappearing. So it's very unusual for rides to push out this far. And the only explanation that I can come up with is that they are releasing more times as you go on. Prime example of this is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon we checked, and Little Mermaid's lightning lanes were out till 8 p.m. I mean, which is insane, a 7-hour gap for Little Mermaid, right? But then later on about 5 o'clock, we were able to get it within about a half an hour at 6 o'clock. And that wasn't just like a fluke that appeared. There was open availability for it, whereas a couple of hours earlier, it was already out to 8. The only reason for this that I can come up with is that they dropped more later in the day. We are going to test this again in about a month or so, maybe 2 months, let the bugs work themselves out of the system if they are indeed bugs with the changeover before we give the test a try again. But there might be some slight experience changes with Genie Plus, even if there's no functionality changes. The next item is new, and it's kind of a big deal. The first ever D23 day here at Disneyland will be happening on Thursday, August 8th. D23 runs Friday, August 9th through Sunday, August 11th. So they're hosting a D23 day here in the park on August 8th, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. They're going to be handing out some special edition, limited edition rather, ears available to all guests who come to the park that day. Not just D23 members, but all guests, available at park opening while supplies last. Again, a special set of D23 ears. If you are excited for those, let me know down in the comments. They'll also have a ton of other stuff going on here in the park, a special cavalcade in Disneyland. I think it said it was at 12:15 p.m. They'll also have a special parade over at Disney California Adventure at 10:30 a.m. along with special characters. Lotso Huggin' Bear will be making an appearance. Previously, he was an Oogie Boogie Bash character. He'll be making an appearance for a D23 day over at Disney California Adventure at the Pixar Pier area. Additionally, they will have the first time ever Disney Junior's Ariel. That version of Ariel will have a character in the parade that we mentioned for 10:30. This is the first ever appearance of this character, and you won't want to miss it if your child loves Disney Junior's Ariel. They'll also be taking over that stage area by Monsters Inc. for a special thing with Disney Junior's Ariel. And just so much more. Stitch will be having a party between 1 and 6 p.m. at the Tomorrowland Terrace. Goofy and Max will be in their Goof Troop outfits up in Toontown greeting guests. So much stuff is going on for D23 day. Check Disneyland's website for more information on what's going on that day, but it is going to be a big to-do. Now, what about D23? Is that going to make the parks busier? Anybody who's coming out here may extend their stay and go to the parks on Monday and Tuesday as well. So a look at both days on either side of that weekend to be busier here in the parks because of D23. And lastly here, as we just pan through the hub, don't forget that Halloween time here at Disneyland kicks off on August 23rd. I know we've mentioned that a couple of times, but there will be special seasonal food items, seasonal merchandise, and so much more going on here for the Halloween season beginning on August 23rd. Of course, the big thing being Halloween Screams, which will be 9:30 in the evening. It'll take place of the current fireworks show, which I don't even know what it is right now. But Halloween Screams will be happening right here behind the castle, of course, nightly after the start of the Halloween season. Of course, just because the show runs nightly doesn't mean that fireworks will. As far as I can tell, it'll be projections during the weekdays, fireworks on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's just kind of what they have been doing. They'll still have the show going on, but it'll be projections without fireworks on those weekdays. We've now made our way over to Disney California Adventure for our August construction update, and straight ahead, the Disney Animation Building has announced some closures. Guess what? Surprisingly, or not, Monday, August 5th. So let's go inside to talk about this. Now, I don't think the actual building itself is going to close, just some things on the inside. We'll speculate on that in just a minute. So I love coming in here for the music, for the ambiance. They have couches, the air conditioning. That is one of the main reasons to come in here. So it is a bit disappointing that they are closing some of the things in here on August 5th, because that's a big draw for coming in here. Hopefully this building is still open. That way people can enjoy the music, the sights, and the air conditioning. But the Animation Academy over here is going to be closed. The character close-up with Anna and Elsa is going to be closed. And then over here, Turtle Talk with Crush is going to be closed. Now there is another item in this building, and that is the Sorcerer's Workshop, which is like a self-guided animation experience. You can go down there and there's some things to do down that way. Now, what makes me think that this building won't entirely be closed is because the Anna and Elsa meet and greet reopens on Friday, August 16th, as does Turtle Talk with Crush. However, over here, the Animation Academy, where you can learn to draw your favorite Disney characters, will remain closed until Friday, August 30th. So it's going to be 2 weeks longer, but the rest of these things are going to open back up. And since the Sorcerer's Workshop is not on the refurb calendar, I'm just going to hope and assume that this building, as well as the Sorcerer's Workshop, will remain open, and that it is just these 3 experiences, the 2 straight ahead there, and then Turtle Talk with Crush off to our right, will be closed for at least 2 weeks, and then 2 of them will open back up. But this is just a really great, relaxing place. If you have never been in here, you are missing out. Come sit on the couch if you can find a spot on the couch. They often, the spots on the couch disappear fast. You can find a spot on the couch, just sit and spend like a half an hour in here. I mean, it's amazing if you need a break. And our last in-park update's actually going to be here at the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, which is finally open again. It opened on Tuesday, July 23rd, after having been closed since March 4th. Yeah, about a 4-month closure here for the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. So glad that it's open again. We're going to walk around a little bit and see if there's anything different than we can spot. I think it mostly is the same, except for, what is this thing? A Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, a weather station, barometric pressure, and tide level. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So that is definitely new. Haven't seen that before. And likewise, what is that? Like some sort of box? It's got sticks on top. It's supposed to be like a spot for like eagles, like an eagle's nest. I don't recall seeing that before either. I'm not the most observant person in the world to notice something new, but I'm just trying to keep my eyes out for something that maybe I've never seen before. At the same time, maybe they were here before and I just never noticed them. I think most of the construction and the updates happened over here on like the nets and things. Well, I'm not actually going to climb up the nets, but we should be able to see them from down here over this way and see if there's anything new. Okay, so there's another one of those boxes, Peregrine Falcon Field Notes. That's really cool. Is that supposed to be like that's like a cage for falcons? But I don't think that there's any falcons in there. The nets do maybe look new. Back that way smelled pretty strongly of rubber from the Flying Fox. I don't recall ever smelling that smell before. Maybe new, oh, you know what? It's new rubber. Let me show you. So it looks like down here in the Flying Fox pit, if you look, the rubber on the floor it looks new to me. And it's probably, that's why it smells a lot like fresh rubber, because usually those are little bits of rubber. Yes, all of the nets definitely look like they're a slightly different color. They look a little beige, brownish beige now, whereas before I feel like they were white, so I think they've definitely replaced and updated every single one of the nets. That seems to be the bulk of what I see they've done here. Here's another one of those boxes. It says Cave Myotis Bat, and if you look at the front, the doors are a little bit different than we saw over at the Falcon. Are these carvings new? I'm not sure. Again, remember, I'm not the most observant person. I like that one. Look, that's cute. I like the turtle. Now this right here is a typical area where they have like concessions and little like decorate your own cookies at Christmas. Is this new now? This like tunnel thing? I don't recall this being here before. This is interesting. Let's go back here. So they might, yeah, I don't think this has been here. So if there's one thing that's new, it's this here. It's not very deep, it doesn't go very far, but yeah, just a fun little run tunnel for the kids. It's got 3 or 4 different openings if you include the front. So that's neat. Who knows? Now I got myself questioning myself. Maybe that's been there the whole time too. I just have never come over this way when it's not a holiday season. Usually my kids just play in the net climb and the slides and the flying fox. They love the flying fox. But we're not done with this video yet because we are going to go through downtown Disney. Now I hear the Portos deal is back on. I couldn't find any information about that online, but it's just something that I heard. Earl of Sandwich is still open over here. Someone told me that the kiosk down by the ESPN building was open. I didn't think that it was. We're gonna go down there and check, but I figured if it was open, then Earl of Sandwich down here would be closed. So who knows? We're gonna find out though. We're gonna walk through downtown Disney and we're gonna look for some construction updates for you. Look, I spend the whole day before I come up and do these videos, and I mean nearly the whole day researching and studying and looking up news articles and watching other YouTube videos and looking at Reddit posts and online forums. I try to find as much information as possible before I come out and do these videos. And even so, sometimes all I hear are little rumbles and little rumors and somebody said this and this person wrote that. And then when I actually try to find a news source to corroborate that, to like, you know, actually have some sort of concrete proof that I can 100% share this thought with you, I can't find it. So it's just that. It's hearsay, it's conjecture. I share with you what I can so that you can be informed, but just be aware that, you know, the last I heard, the Portos deal was out back in May. 2 months later now, someone says that the Portos deal is back on, but I can't find any information online that actually says that. So who knows? We're gonna go up and take a look at the kiosk. And you know, sometimes even after all that work, information still changes on me, like the day after I'm up here. And worse yet, the day that I publish the video, then Disney like says something that directly contradicts what I said because they make some new announcement. Anyway, Marceline's Confectionery here, still not open, says something new and exciting coming soon. So they've just got the little kiosk out here, and it's been that way for a little while now. I'm not sure when this will be opening fully. I think our next sit-down dining location here at the Disneyland Resort is going to be Centrico. We still have yet to give this one a try since it opened, and we did Din Tai Fung most recently. This one's probably going to be next on the list. I did hear that they were tearing the fountain out up here next to Tortilla Joe's. In fact, the Tortilla Joe's sign is gone from the building on Tortilla Joe's. I don't know if that's a recent change or again if it's just me being unobservant for it disappearing, but this construction while up, they're taking the fountain out that is right here, completely demolishing it. I don't know what they're doing with it. Maybe it's I know we shared some news about what could be going here a couple of months ago. I think we said that they're mostly going to possibly put 2 different restaurants in the footprint for Tortilla Joe's, and maybe they're going to expand over into this area, which is why they need to demolish the fountain. Like they're going to take up a little bit more space. We'll see what goes on here. Tortilla Joe's has been closed since April, and it mostly sits like, you know, it's unremarkably not different in the couple of months. I don't know if they're doing demo on the inside or what, but you know, this is going to come down at some point. Lots of construction, lots of building projects going on here at downtown Disney with everything that's going on down here. Well, this is new. I almost walked into that wall because I was texting Amy and I was going to go use the restroom, and they put a wall up. They blocked off the restroom. So the nearest restroom then for that one being closed, here is the lawn. The entrance to Din Tai Fung is up that way. If I spin over here, this is the new entrance to downtown Disney, and there is a restroom right here on the right hand side. That's the nearest one now. So here's the Earl of Sandwich kiosk, sort of trailer, if you will. They've got a couple of tables out front here now, and they do have these order and pickup signs. Actually, the board is all lit up. It is like, it actually has prices and a menu and things. So that's relatively new. I guess maybe you can order from here, even though the main store is still open as well. Yeah, because these people just ordered and now they're down here at the pickup window. So yeah, they've got, oh, and there's some people eating and enjoying them. They've got Earl of Sandwich on both ends of downtown Disney at the moment. And that's it for our August construction update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, just go ahead and drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer them. Click this video to keep watching. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.